Hello, I am Jacob Chandler, and I'm a Boy Scout. Today is September the 13th, 2015, and I will be interviewing Mr. Clay White. He is a veteran of World War II. This interview is part of my Eagle Scout Service Project.
About every 10 or 15 minutes, it was my job to contact every one of the crew and see if there's any problem. And it paid off because on one mission, when I made the crew check, all but one person, our radio operator, answered that they were okay. So I immediately went to his station, and he was laying over face down on his table, and I found out that his oxygen hose had come out of the supply, and I plugged it back in and turned the oxygen on 100%, and he revived. But if it had been much longer, he wouldn't have.
Yes, sir. Well, I see you have several photos here. I reckon let's start with this one. Who are these people that are in the photo?
This one?
Yes, sir.
This is the airplane mechanic school class. And a class started each day, and you kind of went through. And this was the class that I started with. That was on the 11th of November in 44.
Yes, sir.
No, 43. 43.
Who are the people in this photo?
This are members of the crews, of different crews. It's taken in England, and in our barracks there was probably crew members from about 8 or 10 crews. And this was taken after the war ended, and we were all waiting for transportation home.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I was stationed about 40 miles north of London, about halfway between London and Birmingham. But they sent us down to the south at a seaport that the Queen Mary could come into. And it was October before I got my turn to come home.
Yes, sir. That was several months waiting.
That's 5 months.
Yes, sir.
But they sent out they'd come in and load up. It was a 3-day trip. Come back. We it was kind of standing in there like sardines. If you wanted to sleep, you had to push your little space out around them and take a nap. But we were too glad to be getting on home to worry about anything like that.
Yes, sir. Well, do you have any other stories or memories that you'd like to share?
Well, one time on a mission, after the bombs are dropped, it was my job to look in a bomb bay and see that all the bombs were dropped out. And if they were, well then the bombardier closed the bomb bay doors. On one mission, after we dropped all the bombs, and I checked the bomb bay, and there was 2 bombs still in there, 250-pound bombs. And they wouldn't let you land at an airport in England with any bombs in an airplane. You had to get rid of them. So that was my job, one of my jobs. And at 25,000 feet, 65 degrees below zero, you had all these clothes on, and you had to unhook your oxygen from the airplane supply and into an auxiliary tank, a little tank about the size of a fire extinguisher. And the bomb bay occupied all of one section. And to get from one end of the plane to the other, through the Bombay, you had a catwalk about 8 or 10 inches wide with the rope handles, you know, as you walk through. Well, I put my auxiliary tank on and I straddled the catwalk and was holding on to this side and leaning as far as I could over that way. I got close enough that I could trip the bombs by a manual switch. And, that wasn't very inviting. You look down. And,
yes, sir. Well, after your service ended, what did you do?
I came home and I got my discharge in November, and I didn't really do anything until February when I enrolled in LSU the next year. And I got my degree from LSU in May of '49. And when I got my degree, well, in May, and in June I went to work for the LSU Agricultural Extension Service and worked 36 years with them.
Yes, sir. Well, are you involved in any veterans organizations?
No, I've been members of the Veteran of Foreign Wars and American Legion at the present time.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you again, sir, for your interview today and for your service.
Quite well.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
I believe that's it. Yes, sir. If you see here, this is a photo of Cologne, Germany. There's the big Rhine River going through here. And one thing Mr. Clay White pointed out to me is that I'm sure you might be able to see there's lots of devastation here. Since this was an industrial city, this city of Cologne was hit nearly 100 times or so with bombs and raids and stuff like that. And so to destroy all the industrial places. And you can see all the devastation on both sides of the river. This bridge is destroyed as well as this bridge. But you'll notice this large cathedral with its two steeples, it never once got hit during the whole war. It remained intact. Even though despite all around it was heavily bombed, including the bridge and all the infrastructure. And that was a point Mr. Clay White wanted to point out.